panel, right now, as I'm speaking, a farmer in rural Ethiopia just finished harvesting her tomatoes. She has 6 hours before they start to rot, 6 hours to find transport, 6 hours to reach a buyer she's never met before. Most days, she never makes it and loses. E-network exists so she doesn't have to. Good day. My name is Prosperine. I am with Eunice. We are from Burundi, and Sandrine and Lagrace, and they are from Rwanda. After reading the World Bank case, we asked ourselves, how can we transform Ethiopia's agricultural supply chain to achieve most UN SDGs while reducing post-harvest losses and generating transformative returns, especially for youth and women? This is our goal, and we will elaborate more on our KPIs. So we use the system mapping methodology to identify how each failure point compound others. And we did the same for the solution by building one self-reinforcing ecosystem where each component strengthened the other.
All right. In Ethiopia, 40% of harvests never reach the market, not because they can produce them, but because they can store them, connect them with the market, or be able to move them. So e-network is eliminating this gap by bringing together transportation that help with logistic challenges, by bringing hubs that store and reduce wastage, and by bringing digital that connects people. Now focusing on transport. It's not like any other form of transportation where we move goods from one place to another. Here we use Mercedes Unimog trucks. These ones can survive in rainy and hill areas of Ethiopia. This comes in two parts. That those that can be able to carry durable goods and those that can be able to carry non-durable goods. Also, we include a cold chain that helps to make sure that those products are good. We also include an innovative rail, which is a GPS tracker that ensure that we can keep track of where goods are and connect buyers and sellers.
This is the operational roadmap of how our EN Digital works. From the data flow, how data flows from the farmers and the hub level through our digital marketplace and onward to buyers and logistic partners. This ensures full traceability and transparency across every state. And here is the prototype of how our system will look like, the EN Digital. This on the left, you have the desktop agent dashboard where field agent manage farmer records, transaction, and monitor deliveries in real time. Also, the government can able to track how the produce is being produced and the outcome of it nationally. And on the right, you have the mobile USSD interface designed for farmers in low connectivity areas to access prices, update, or request transport using any phone, including cell phones. Together, these interfaces bridge the digital divide and connect rural producers directly to national and global markets through one integrated system. And the prototype can be checked on Figma.
All right, now moving on to our N-Hub. These are our most radical innovation. They are storage centers powered by solar panel with biogas digesters. So we have biosensors that monitor quality in real time. If produce are spoiled, we will transform them into biogas. We will have mobile pre-cooling units to reach remote farms and propose innovative packaging ways to farmers. These hubs will generate jobs as operators, technicians, coordinators, and so on. And we will reserve 50% of positions for women, especially in leadership role. Okay, so we are not starting from zero. Ethiopia has 72.75% youth literacy, which would contribute to the human capital. Ethiopian Airlines dominates 35% of African cargo, which will be our gateway to export markets. Additionally, there are 8,500 farmer training centers, and rather than considering them as our competitors, we chose to build on that foundation to make partnerships. So what do we do better compared to existing Ethiopia food supply chain. Today, most systems still rely on diesel and inefficient transport, which raises cost and emission. We are replacing those with solar and biogas energy and a shared transport system that reduce congestion and environmental impact. By connecting farmers directly to buyers through our digital platform, we remove middlemen and keep profits within the community. Our community-led hubs also transform farm waste into biogas and organic fertilizer, creating a clean energy and new jobs, and moves Ethiopia towards a zero waste, low cost food future.
So let me walk you through the trajectory of our impacts. In the first month, we connect 300 farmers to our platform and employ 50 young people, half of them women, and begin transforming one community. Within a year, we plan to reach 5,000 farmers, create 200 youth jobs, and employ 100 women, and achieve a 15% reduction in food waste. So at 10 years, we are looking at 500,000 farmers, 20,000 jobs, 70% waste reduction, and to scale our model to 5 countries across the region. And for the environmental impact, let me explain how we measure our environmental impact. So we are using the greenhouse gases protocol. It's the global standard for measuring greenhouse gas emissions. It covers our entire value chain. First, we track diesel consumption in our transport fleet using GPS. And second, we measure energy use at our hubs, specifically comparing grid electricity against solar and biogas. Third, it's where our biggest impact sits. So we track avoided emissions from the food waste we prevent and measured in kilograms of spoilage stop. For food loss specifically, we use the FAO Food Loss Index. It's the UN's methodology for tracking post-harvest losses by weight. And on the social side, we use AROS plus social impact metrics. It's widely used framework with standardized indicators. Regarding employment, we are tracking full-time jobs created using the metric PI 3907, broken down by age and gender. We also monitor average earnings of female versus male employees. And regarding youth inclusion, we measure the percentage of employees aged 15-24, and we compare it against the 5.4% national unemployment rate for this age group. And for the farmer income, we are using AROS plus PY 1263 to track the actual change in net income for enrolled farmers. So these are internationally recognized standards, which means our impact can be verified and compared against global benchmark. And to track our business performances, we are focusing on 3 main areas. So financial, operational, and market impact. Financially, we are measuring how fast our revenue is growing and how well we control our costs and whether the business is profitable or not. And operationally, we are monitoring farmer retention, digital platform use, cold storage uptime, and delivery efficiency to ensure that we are having a smooth operations. And finally, we are looking at our market impact. So it's how much extra income farmers earn, the new trade connections we create, and how we help improve food security in the region.
Our biggest vision is watching this story becoming a reality. This is our implementation progress plan. Over the next 18 months, we plan to develop, deploy, and scale. We'll build and integrate the platform, construct the pilot hubs, finalize partnership, and train our first ever cohort of agents. Within this period, 5 hubs and 15 tracks will be fully operational, marking the foundation of our regional expansion. And our training capacity and building program ensures quality and sustainability, ranging from the needs assessment to hands-on practice and continuous learning. Our KPIs, you can see that they speak for themselves because there will be a 95% certification, 85% retention after 1 year, and 30% of trainees promoted to senior roles within 2 years. This is our measurable impact. We use our key performance indicators were based on the current Ethiopia's performance. Currently, Ethiopia faces 25.8% post-harvest food waste and 21 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, and 35% of gender pay gap. By year one, we aim to reduce food waste by 15%, create 200 jobs, half by women, of course, and then reach 5,000 users. By year five, we aim for a 50% reduction in waste and 4,000 jobs and 2,000 women leaders across the network. So we aim for a 50-50 parity. And then through e-network, we're not just really moving forward, we are looking for advancing various sustainable development goals like gender equality, zero hunger, and climate action, while driving inclusive growth for rural communities. We identified various risks that may come up with our solution and how we can really solve or mitigate them successfully. So this is there will be a risk of donor delay, connectivity issues, farmer resistance, extreme weather, and maybe policy change and equipment failures. The possible mitigation that the corresponding possible mitigation that we were looking for are a phased rollout, offline phased USSD backup, work through cooperatives, youth agents, climate design, resilient design, insurance, multi-party agreements, and local ownership, and then also local technician and preventive care. We plan also to partner with various organizations to make this vision come true. We plan to partner them for training, capacity building, and then digital platform, including transport and logistics, and also funding sources.
All right. So to bring this project to life, we have different costs that we have to begin with. And among them, we have a track purchase, hub construction, biogas facility, which will come in the second year, among others. However, the good news is that these costs will keep reducing. Why? Because some of these costs are one-time costs, while others keep reducing since the first-time investment is huge, while others decrease on it. When it comes to our projection for 5 years, by focusing on the profits and losses, we make losses for the first 3 years. Here is why. This is because during the first years, we'll be investing heavily on the initial investment. However, when it comes to the third year, this investment will be recovered due to now earning more than spending on investing.
So how does the future of e-network looks like? To validate our solution, we will begin in the Oromia region of Ethiopia due to its high agricultural productivity, strong road network, and proximity to Addis Ababa markets. Then we will expand across Ethiopia. We will standardize the solution and replicate it in Kenya and Uganda using our proven template. By 2040, e-network will become Africa's logistics standard, transforming the continent. Ano, e-networks offer substantial return on investment while advancing 4 World Bank priorities and UN SDGs: climate action, digital transformation, youth employment, and gender equality. And when you look at Ethiopia's food system, 2 things matter. First, what's the cost of waiting another year? 4 billion in losses and 15.8 million still food insecure. The second one is, what is the cost of acting now? A fraction of that with financial and generation return. Isn't this the smartest investment in Africa's future? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for that very nice presentation. I'm going to get right into the question and answer period. My first question has to do with your revenue model. Of course, you mentioned the investment, but where does the revenue come from? How are you generating revenue?
Okay. Sajun, can you take that?
Yes. All right. So when it comes to when we're estimating the revenue that we're getting, we took 2 parts. There's transportation part, and there's also a part of benefiting from our ESD stuff. So when we're looking at most of initial revenue, we're thinking about how much are we going to charge for the truck to drive. And most of our values wanted to charge $8.8 per ton. So this comes in with estimating the number of the rounds that we think a truck can make. And then when it comes to benefiting from digital, there is a free offering, but there's also like a premium offering.
Okay, to add on to what she said, we will get revenues from storing in our EN hub. So EN stands for e-network hub and E stands for Ethiopia. So by storing in our warehouses, we will get revenue for that per ton. We will also get revenue for the transport, them like taking our trucks to market. And she mentioned the cost of $8.88 per ton. And it's worth mentioning that this is considerably higher than what they already have, a bit higher. But we since we are helping them to recover what would have been rotten, we assume that they'll get higher benefits, which justify why they'll pay a little bit higher cost than what they usually pay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that brings me to the second question about your risk mitigation, and that's as you said about farmer resistance. Obviously, I think farmers are going to resist wanting to pay more. You're gonna have to somehow convince them why they should be paying more than what they were before. Say, well, how are you going to overcome this farmer resistance, especially initially?
Okay, thank you. I'll take that too. Since we are using many hub people, like the people who are working there are people in the community. So if we are using, say, agents and operators, all those people are people who are in their community. We hope to gain their trust since these are people they already live with and they already trust. But also, most of African countries usually have trust in the local leaders. So during the implementation of the project, we will involve the local leaders so that we don't look like foreigners coming to do things for them. Yeah, I don't know if any teammate has something to add.
All right, so let me add something to that. So the best thing about this project is that even farmers themselves are key participants. And so this brings them to already like understanding the issues that are happening. And also when it comes to the young people we are working with, we are providing them trainings. And these trainings aims to ensure that those people have an understanding of what we are bringing to them, rather than just going and putting a project there and telling, come and do this. We want to provide higher training to young people and even to women. And these are key essential things because the right percentage of people in agriculture are women. So this brings a large number of the key participants that we want on board to be involved and actually make decisions about different things that we want to do.
Okay. Thank you. Now, my other question is about what you're going to do is basically remove the middleman, right? And that is actually a major hurdle. You're basically going to restructure the whole market, how farmers sell their products to the market. What kind of resistance do you expect from the existing middlemen? How will your system be able to work with perhaps or with the existing system, or how will you be able to disrupt it? So then you're going to completely change the system where there is no middleman. Do you see there could be some resistance there?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's a very valid risk. Okay, so regarding middlemen, existing middlemen are usually motivated by profit, which is not really bad considering we are in a capitalist society. But so when you are motivated only by profit, then it's really hurts the farmers because they are trying as much as possible to get more profit. So what we are trying to do here is to put people who already are in the community so that the profits usually remain there. For example, in Burundi, my country, usually people in the city will come to get things in the rural areas and sell it at a really higher price for their own profit. But if the middlemen in this case, or the people doing all those transactions are the rural areas, we are making sure that these people are the ones that are being are benefiting from those profits. Yeah, and we really we understand there will be resistance from existing middlemen, obviously competition. But again, we are hoping that since there are people from the same community, we'll be able to get more leverage compared to people who are outsiders. And also in the partnerships, we talked about training and capacity building, digital platforms. So in Ethiopia, there's this digital platform ECX, what they said. So if we use these ones to using existing ones to make it a bit more progressive instead of coming and trying to change everything at one time. Yeah, so that's what we are trying. I don't know if anyone else has something to add.
All right. So another thing that I would like to add on is that by even considering middlemen, we are providing jobs. When it comes to the truck drivers, those are the people who are going to be working with us. When it comes to in hubs, we are providing jobs. So within our system, we are not necessarily bringing everyone who is working by setting our grounds there, but we are also finding a way to even involve those people, because when it comes to middlemen, they may have understanding about how things are working already. And those are good people you have to begin with when it comes to training. So we are not necessarily coming to change everything, but we're making sure that the benefits and the earnings are distributed in a way that it improves the lives of everyone who is involved.
Yeah, well, in a lot of developing countries, because of the system, there's the middleman, but there's usually multiple layers of middlemen. So there would be somebody comes and buy from a group of villages will buy from there and then sell to somebody on a wholesale market, and then who will sell somebody. So it'd be multiple layers before it gets to the end customer. And the key for those middlemen is the relationships, right? It's all based on personal relationships, who who the buyers are, who's going to get you the price. That's my chance to say, how will your system be able to replace that? Right, you're trying to replace that system, which is multiple layer, and you're going to connect directly with the end buyer, right? Because you're going to replace all the middlemen. You can connect the farmers directly with the buyers. But how is that going to be effective when you have multiple layers of middlemen and wholesale markets, and that whole system that you're going to tear down and say, well, we're going to replace all that, and we just go direct.
Right. So let me begin with this. So when it comes to setting out a project like this in Ethiopia, of course, there will be an issue of relationship at first. But the first thing that we consider and understand is the ability is connecting firstly with the buyers. When it comes to a buyer who is taking a product, they always make sure that they have a specific need. And that needs, when it comes to a farmer, there are different farmers that they used to trade with. So when it comes to that relationship start with, if we can connect this buyer to this farmer who they are already engaged with, how can we make sure that we improve on our goodwill of offering these services? And that is the first baseline starting point. But when it comes to the further consideration, it comes to now refreeze. We believe refreeze is among strong things, and even tell it by words, like mostly when it comes to African countries, most people, when they appreciate things, they go on and tell their neighbors. So we want to make sure that we are providing a quality service in a way that our actions can speak for themselves. And if we can be able to connect the initial buyers who have specific farmers they begin with, then a word may spread that we are doing a good job.
Right. Okay, thank you very much for your answers and for your presentation. The final results will be announced on December 19th, so best of luck to you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.